Woo! What's up, kids? How we doing? We got Unknown in the house. We got Iconic in the house. Of course, shout out to our wonderful mod Super and our all of the amazing work that he's doing. Also, shout out to apparently the 20 people watching on YouTube. Hello. Greetings. How we all doing? Say hi, everybody. We having a good day? I'm having a good day. I'm having a very good day. Oh, well, I am having a very good day. I'm having a weird, sort of complicated day. What's up, Otrapeg? Good to see you. 31 people on YouTube. Hey, everybody on YouTube. How's it going? I don't know why YouTube is suddenly pushing me today. That's fun. What's up, guys? Give me some toast and chat if we're having fun. Yeah, YouTube is coming in super hot today. I love it. We'll be noting down today's feedback since I have to edit this track this time around. It's a work in progress. Okay, duly noted, Unknown. No worries. Well, we will check it out here in just a few minutes. But yeah, no, things are good in my life. What's up, Sven, over on the YouTube side? How's it going? Things are good in my life, but if you guys remember from stream yesterday, there is drama afoot in the world of the DAW that we know and love here on the channel. Studio One. It would seem that the corporate overlords over at PreSonus, aka Fender Musical Instrument Company, have decided to randomly rebrand PreSonus Studio One 7 into something called Fender Studio Pro, which, just based on the name of it, sounds like an iPad app that teaches children how to play blues. What's up, man? What's up, man Fonby? I'm good. How are you doing? Welcome on in. Thank you guys for stopping by. So yes, just to recap, I woke up yesterday and they had completely changed my DAW. Now it's called Fender Studio Pro, and I hate it. I hate it with a passion. Nothing happens to my DAW. We'll see. Unknown, you're cool and you work in an open source DAW that is like, native Linux compatible and shit, which is very, very cool. When you use a DAW that is owned by a giant corporate conglomerate, then you're kind of at the whims of whatever the hell they decide to do with their product. But this is not all. We talked a bunch yesterday about how much I hate the name and how Fender doesn't really have a great brand reputation. PreSonus already struggled with their brand reputation, yada yada, all this shit, right? And that now I'm going to have to tell people I work in something called Fender Studio, which just sounds ridiculous and amateur, and I don't want to look paying clients in the eye and say that. It just is lame. That's not all. because we had upgraded yesterday to Fender Studio Pro 8 or whatever it's called now. And we started working at it, and that's fine. It worked the same. They didn't really change much of anything. After stream, because the way that it works is we do work on stream, right? We score stuff, we master stuff, we mix stuff. It's great. We make tracks. Man, Fonby, yeah, that's fine. Yeah, but do it as a, just to keep the feedback queue clear. If you have enough channel points to do a video react, we can do that. We'll do unknowns first, and then we'll do that. There's a point redeem called video react that's for exactly that kind of a thing. It doesn't actually have to be a video. It can be a song. That's totally fine. Yeah, or I guess you could do it as a feedback. It doesn't really matter. Yes, that's fine. I'm happy to do that for you. We can talk about that. But no, so as I was saying, normally, we make a track, we mix a track, whatever we're doing on stream. Once I stop stream and we say goodbye for the day, we raid out into somebody, then, yeah, that's perfect. Thank you. Then my evening, I bounce everything down. I go back into the session, I make sure everything's cool. Sometimes I do a few more technical, boring, tweaky stuff that really doesn't make sense to do on stream. And then I export the file and I send it off to the client. I write the email. All of that stuff. So yesterday, we got off stream, raided out. I got in to bounce down the track for this new LA artist that we're working with. And the bounce, automation didn't work. I had all this automation in the session, and I opened up to listen back to the track just to make sure everything had worked correctly. None of the automation was enabled. And so it turns out, yeah, YouTube link is fine. It turns out that this new version, this Fender Studio 8 or whatever, there's a fundamental bug on launch where automation doesn't work during mixdown. Which makes, there are 2 projects waiting for paying clients that I cannot send because I cannot export their tracks. Because it's not going to sound correct. And if automation's not working, I don't know what else is not working. So I'm done. I am super, super, super fed up with Studio One. I love Studio One, and Iconic, to answer your question, why do I prefer it? It's a great DAW. It works quite well. Historically, it has worked quite well. It is very versatile. It has lots and lots of really cool and interesting tools that other DAWs don't have. It's kind of like a greatest hit. Like, it's got features from Pro Tools. It's got features from Logic. It's got features from Cubase. It's got features from Ableton. It's got features from FL. It's missing some things that I would like it to have, but overall, like, in terms of versatility, it can kind of do anything, and that's why I've used it for 10 years. Yes, I can go back to the version I was using before. No worries, super duly noted. Like, it's, it's great for all of those reasons, but what was, before any of this was going on, hey, there's our cool lights. Before any of this was going on, it was crashing all the time. Just a couple of weeks ago or a month ago, I had to do a complete reinstall because it was crashing constantly. And it was crashing in this bizarre way where the process would get stuck in Windows, and I couldn't task manager. I couldn't end task. I literally would have to reboot my entire computer any single time that it crashed, which was like 2 or 3 times a day. And that was, obviously, we're trying to stream. That's massively disruptive to stream because I have to totally reboot my machine every single time. It's crazy. So I did a complete wipe and reinstall, lost all of my custom mappings, all of my, I had meticulously organized all of my plugins, all of my folders, all this shit I had put together. I lost all of that to try to get it to stop crashing. Well, it kind of sort of finally did. It's been behaving better in that regard. Well, now they do this update. They completely changed the name. They changed the branding. They changed all the logos. And now automation doesn't work at Mixdown. It's these C-suite executive idiots who have no idea what they're trying to sell or who they're trying to sell it to. And it's the fact that so many of these companies are forcing their engineers to use AI that has not been, is not, and will never be good at writing code. They're trying to force everybody to use it, and they're shipping products that are buggy and, disastrously buggy. and unusable. So all of that is to say, our main task today, all work stops. We're putting pause on the track that we were working on yesterday. Thank you, Iconic. I appreciate the sentiment. Yeah, I mean, and that's really what it comes down to, right? Like, it's one thing if you're doing stuff for fun or you're just learning. Like, crashes and buggy software is never okay, obviously. But it would be if this were like a hobby for me, then it would be a little bit more tolerable. It would be like, okay, I can wait a couple of days for them to send out an update or whatever. Like, I would be more tolerant of that. My situation is that I am a full-time working professional. I have like, just right now, I have 2 records in for production and like 3 different game projects and another, yeah, no, it's annoying for everybody. And I'm not saying like, oh, just because I'm, it's like, oh, only pros need software to work. Like, no, everybody needs their software to work. But like, I'm sure they'll ship an update in a couple of days, that will fix this automation bug. The issue is that it wasn't tested in the first place. And the issue is that I have 2 clients that are literally right now this morning, both of them messaged me going, where is my project? And it's like, well, I can't send you your project because Fender Studio Pro, they shipped an update where I literally like can't export your song. And that makes me look like an idiot. And that's like $600 worth of work that's waiting to go out the door. It affects one's reputation, absolutely. And even just trying to explain to people now that I use this Fender Studio software is like so cringy when they're expecting me to say, oh, I use Pro Tools, I use Ableton, I use FL, like, an industry standard thing. I'm already up against a bit of a barrier using somebody or using a piece of software that is like not super well known. I already have to do a little bit of explaining. Now that it's called Fender Studio, I'm like, ugh. Over on the YouTube side, Persia Storm, how's it going, guys? Good to see you. Thanks for tuning in. So anyways, rant over. What we are doing on stream today, I will just go ahead and show you guys, and then we'll get into feedback for a little bit here. We are installing Cubase 15. So the whole goal of stream today, which is going to probably be a little bit wonky, we tried Bitwig a little while ago. I liked Bitwig a lot. It did not have a lot of the features that I needed. Hans Zimmer uses Cubase. I score video games. As far as I'm concerned, if it's good enough for him, it's good enough for me. So we're installing Cubase, and I think, is it done downloading? I think it is done. Is it done? It is done. Great. So we're going to be playing around in Cubase. We're probably just going to just make a whatever silly track for fun, and not really worry about it too much, and just kind of look at the features, and I'll kind of talk real time about how it comes off to me, as a program. So yeah, that's kind of the goal for today. That is what we are after for today, is exploring Cubase and seeing if it's a good fit for us more long term, because I am just so done. So done. Yeah, it's really popular in the scoring world, I will say that. And I know its orchestral features are second to none. I need it to do sound design stuff as well, because I do a lot of electronic music, as you guys know, or just, I just do a lot of different shit. One thing Cubase does have that Studio One does not, that I'm really excited to play with, are modulators, akin to what you have in FL and Ableton, which I've wanted Studio One to add for years and years and years and years. As far as I know, one of my favorite rock producers, Jonah T, uses Cubase as well. Okay, see, I do a lot of rock. I do a lot of everything, but rock, that's good to know, because if it's got good features for that kind of production, we love it. Anyway, before we even get into that, though, it's $17 to get 1 week unlimited data. Like I said, I'll explain later. If normal internet, oh my God, super. What is going on with German ISPs, man? That's crazy. That's a lot of money to have to pay for like decent internet. Anyway, we are going to go ahead and start with some feedback, which we do, as you guys know, at the beginning of every stream for about, an hour or so. So if anybody watching wants feedback on anything, I would love to check out what you guys got going on. ! Feedback in chat will get you a link to a Google form. I know Unknown, you already filled that out, so we're going to look at yours first. Then we're going to check out this track that wasn't produced by Manfonby, but we're going to take a look at it and see if we can't figure out some of what's going on with the production of the mix. He's behind bands like Heat, Temple Balls, Eric Gronwall. Okay, very cool. I love it. But yeah, if anybody wants feedback, ! Feedback in chat will get you the link to the form to fill out to get in queue. Also, very cool announcement. Super, our wonderful, amazing mod, and the gifter of shouldn't be too hard. I'm just bad. You're not bad, Manfonby. Don't say that. You're awesome. Super, our wonderful mod and endless gifter of subs and all-around great guy, is programming us a custom chatbot so that you guys can have more control of the lights. And we're working on some features to where the lights are like integrated into the feedback form and it's all very, very cool. It's very over my head, but everybody give some love in chat to Super because Super is super. Yeah, better feedback panel is coming apparently. All great. On display feedback queue. Oh my god, dude, you're a rock star. Yeah, I think hypothetically there's a world in which when you do the feedback form, you will be able to pick what the lights do while your song plays, which is gonna be just bananas. I'm so excited for it. So anyways, let's jump over to our view here, and let's start with a track from Unknown. Everybody else, get in queue. Get in queue for feedback if you so desire. Okay, so this is this collab, I believe, Unknown, that you have been working on with somebody. Collab track with Chill Lime. How cool. I love it. Let me know what all I can edit in this track to make it better. This isn't almost final as I thought. I will make some more changes tomorrow. Okay, so still very much work in progress. Excellent. I love that you and Chill Lime connected and are doing something together. It's incredibly cool to see people in the community coming together and making shit. So this is in a file in Discord, so you guys won't see anything on the second screen, but let's give it a listen. Super, we're going to do the video react after this. Good call.
The cards rule them all. The magic which holds it all. The nightmare from which it's made. It's Ace of Spades.
This is such an interesting fusion of because I know both of your music now, and this is so cool to hear like both of your melodic writing and then Chill Lime's like beat production like coming together. So what all are you in charge of mixing this as well? Or like what all is your kind of role in the final assembly here?
Ace of Spades.
Just calling it out as I hear it, just a note for you, that like bop, bop, bop sound is quite loud.
ace of spades.
Wild. I absolutely love it. Honestly, overall, I think the mix actually sounds quite good, man. Good job. That glitchy stuff at the end, that bop bop, bop and then it starts, bop, 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 that's a little loud, and what I'm assuming is your like arpeggios beneath it could probably come up a little bit in comparison. Yeah, I do that like glitchy stuff at the end down, and your stuff up a little bit more. This snare could come up a little bit, around like 30 seconds, whatever snare is playing through this section. Really good like definition on the kick though. Good balance between the kick and the and your elements, the more melodic stuff.
The cards rule them all.
Vocal might be a touch loud.
The magic which holds it all. The nightmare from which it's made.
Yeah, Otripik, exactly. I agree 100%. Up. Sorry, I clicked something in Discord. Sorry. Yeah, I mean, I think in general, don't be afraid to bring the melodic stuff up just overall a little bit. Then that snare, your kicks are in a good spot. That snare in the front half of the tune up a little bit, vocal down a little bit, glitchy stuff down a little bit. So really just basic like balance things, which I know you're good. You know what you're doing. But yeah, it sounds really cool. I love the fusion of the two styles. I love Otripik, your take here. I love that you can hear the art behind the bass sound. I feel like a lot of hardstyle music is just straight distorted kicks. Yeah, this is like such a cool fusion. Yeah, the vocal's absolutely clear enough. It's such a cool fusion of your unknown, your more I don't want to say classical style of writing, but just you're very meticulous about your chord movements and your shapes and like all that stuff, and that really comes through. And then Chill Lime is great with the really textural beat production stuff. I think it's a very cool fusion, and it's resulted in a really really cool track. It felt right because it was right, buddy. So great job. I think you're absolutely on the right track. Just a few little balance tweaks and you're going to be in great shape. And then I would say, I always recommend sending it off to somebody to master. I would be happy to master it for you. I do not charge very much per track for mastering. I charge like $20-$30 usually, depending on what it is. I think a really good master would really do a lot. That's okay, Iconic. I'll probably skim it a little bit. But that's totally fine. Those channel points. Indeed. But yeah, Unknown. It's awesome, man. It's fabulous. Woo! So great job. Thank you for sharing. I love hearing this from you guys. I just love it. So thanks for showing it off, and I can't wait to. Anything about the lead after the vocals? No, I mean, other than like, I think just generally, like, if your drums are here, the other elements are here, and I would just bring them more. It's not by much. Like, I'm talking maybe 2 dB, but I think most of the instrumentation, the synths and the leads and all that stuff could come up. 2 dB, and just generally the drums could come down 2 dB, except for that snare in the beginning, which I would bring up even more in the scheme of all that. because the thing that you got to remember is when you have really like light, really light or more, what's the word I'm looking for? I don't want to say gentle because they're not exactly gentle. But when you have synths like what you have and what you've programmed, and then you have drums like what Chill Lime has done, those drums are like have a ton of sonic energy, and those synths don't as much. So you just want to always keep that in mind when you're balancing things. That you can probably go a little bit more in the direction of turning the drums down a little bit and turning the synths up overall. Because they're going to balance a little bit better. Just thinking about how like punchy and intense those drum sounds are. But yeah, and then a good master will help with that as well for sure. So, but great job again. Ah! Oh no, blinky lights. I love it. Okay. Yeah, no worries, Unknown. Thank you for sharing. Okay, so first of all, we were going to look at this thing for Manfonbi, which is a track where we're looking more at what is going on in terms of the production. I think, Manfonbi, are you still in chat with us? I believe you are. Yeah, it looks like you are. You am. Okay. What specifically, I'm trying to scroll up in chat to see what specifically you'd said about this. Do you mind if I show you a song that's not mine? I want to achieve the sound that it has. Do you explain what's happening in the mix? Okay. Yeah. So we're listening mainly for what's going on in the mix in this track, and then we'll talk about what makes it sound the way that it does. And then after that, we will do Iconic. We will take a look at what you sent in. Here, let me go into the big speakers for this. No worries, super duly noted. This is very interesting. It is super vibey. Mix wise, it's not a mix that I would single out as being. It's vibey for sure. It's not a typical mix or a traditional mix. I will say that. It honestly, it sounds unmastered to my ear. Okay, so what things that stand out to me? The kick is unusually loud and unusually subby. There's a lot of very, very heavy low end to it. And it's significantly louder and almost to the point where it feels a little out of balance with the rest of the mix. But that's part of the vibe. It's thumpy. The vocals are obviously very buried. We're doing feedback in Fest, but this is Manfonbi wanted to check this out because he really likes this mix and wants to kind of know what's going on with it so that he can do stuff kind of in this style. It sounds to me like everything
Infest
is
3D wants feedback on their song.
excellent. Very good. Yeah, yeah. You know the drill, Infested. We will check it out. Uh, uh, it sounds to me like everything in the mix, kick drum included, which is kind of unusual in and of itself, is being sent into like a plate reverb, or some kind of big, kind of ambient reverb that's relatively low, but like it feels like there's almost like there's a reverb on the master bus here. And everything is just generally really quiet. Especially compared to that kick drum. Yeah, sure, Orchard Pig, we can take a look at it. Guys, today is a very loose stream. I just want to open Cubase and play around with it. That's our main goal for today in terms of getting work done, because Studio One is we don't like it anymore. We're done with it. We hate it kind of a little bit. What's up, Zhang? Good to see you. Thanks for tuning in. Yes, cymbals are very distant. The bass is very more focused towards the low end and is quite distant. The vocals, I can't even hear what the vocals are so low. And that's what I'm to be honest with you, I'm struggling a little bit because I get that it's a vibe, but I will just say it, and it's neither here nor there. It's one guy's opinion. This is not a good mix to me. I don't like, it's a vibe, but there's a lot of things about this mix that like you could get a vibe like this, but still have like I cannot hear the singer at all. Like I can tell that there's vocals. That's about it. Like I can't really hear what any of the instruments are playing. There's a lot of tape hiss, or I don't know if this was actually done to tape or if it's, you know, if it's all plugins, but there's a lot of tape hiss and noise. And then that big reverb is making things just feel really indistinct in a way where like, I'm like, I want to hear what the singer is singing about. And I want to hear how all the parts are working together, but it's tonally shaped in a way that makes it difficult to hear. And that's, again, I'm not saying it's like, oh, you know, you shouldn't go. If this is a vibe you really like totally go for it. But yeah, I mean, to do stuff, like the way I would approach making a mix feel like this kind of a vibe, I would use tape emulation for sure, some kind of like a cassette emulation plugin. I use Cassette from Waves Factory all the time. I love it. Or OCS 45 is a great one. There's a lot of like reel-to-reel tape emulation plugins from a bunch of different companies that can all get you into this like dark and kind of, you know, tight vibe. Yeah, Zhang, and that's, you know, like if you dig it, you dig it. That's awesome. There's, you know, you're not wrong for digging it. I just, you know, I'm biased because I'm a professional mix engineer and producer, and so I'm always going for like, I'm always going for quality. Thank you, Birdland. What's up, buddy? Good to see you. I'm always going for clarity and quality and like, you know, more of, I guess, what you'd call like an industry standard mix. And I'll definitely go for more of like a lo-fi vibe on certain things, but this is lo-fi to an extreme. But if you dig it, you dig it. Yeah, like stuff that you like. What I can say is stuff you can do in this style that will help get you in this ballpark. Big reverbs across your whole mix, but keeping them relatively low level, keeping things more centered. I like how some of the melodies are left to interpretation. Oh, that's a cool take. Yeah, sure, I get that. Yeah, big reverb across the track. but relatively low level, some kind of tape emulation on the master with the noise turned up so that you get some of that tape hiss, not panning things very wide, keeping kind of everything very like centered, intentionally balancing certain things further back in the mix. Almost sounds like it was recorded a room over. Totally. Yeah. And then just, like balancing in the mix, probably I would say under compressing things. So where you would normally add some compression to your guitar or some compression to your vocal, not doing that or using much less compression than you normally might be inclined to, will get you that kind of tazang, to your point, that like indistinct feeling of things that kind of peak out and you can't 100% hear what's going on. Lack of compression will do that, letting things be really... letting things be extremely dynamic so that like if the guitar player is playing a melody and he hit one note quieter than other notes, letting that note be really quiet. You could even technically use like an expander to make the dynamic range even wider. I almost never talk about expanders because they're kind of unusual tools and we don't use them a ton. Hello, bot. It's my bot, everybody. Say hello to my bot. I think all of that will get you very much in the ballpark. It's a lot of reverb. It's a lot of like lack of dynamic control. All that, all that kind of stuff will get you into a vibe like this. Again, this is a reference. Like I feel like it's for my ears, it's too far in that direction. There's a lot that I like about the idea of it. But I would still have the vocals be more prominent, and I would have, there's just a balance of like kind of washy tape noise and reverb that's like here and the actual track is here. And I would bring those, like honestly, what this reminds me of mixing style wise a little bit is Tame Impala, the first Tame Impala record. Inner Speaker has some of these vibes to it. Which this record always cracks me up because this record came out, 2006, maybe 2005, 2007, somewhere in there, late aughts. And it is just the, like this whole record is just like, oh, you're the Beatles. You guys just want to be the Beatles. Yeah, like it is the most shameless, like, Abbey Road, 1967, like, I believe it's Kevin Parker might make it big someday if you really put this. Who's Kevin Parker? Are you Kevin Parker? So this could be, if you like stuff in that vibe, check out this record. It's the Inner Speaker by Tame Impala. It's kind of older. Oh. Gotcha. Yeah, no, what they do now is wildly different. They've evolved a ton over the years. I'm not super into what they do now, but I do really love this record. And so if you're into really dark, moody, kind of indistinct old school mixes, oh, is it really? Oh, that's interesting, Infested. I didn't really know that. I thought they were like a whole band. I don't listen to a ton of their stuff. I listened to this record some when I was a teenager and was like, oh, this is a cool vibe. So yeah, this is more like when I hear stuff like that, I think of this, which is more reverb, because it's very like crunchy. It's very lo-fi. The vocals are kind of back from where you'd want. There's like little guitar moments that kind of noodle in and out from the sides that you can't really hear super well. And has a lot of like vibe and space to it. It's much wider. So just another point of reference for you. But anyways, hopefully some of that is interesting or helpful in terms of getting that kind of a vibe. Oh, you and me both, man. Absolutely. But yeah, thanks for having us check it out. Okay, so next, I think Iconic, you had said you were sharing a track for feedback, yeah? Is that what we're after here? Let me look at the queue. Up next in the feedback queue is Infested, followed by Otrapic, but you had mentioned something about sending a video, Iconic. I don't know if that was your own stuff or I appreciate you, man, Fonby. Thanks for hanging out. For enjoyment, also feedback is welcome. Zhang, yes, absolutely. If you thank you, Super. This is so cool. Everybody, Super has set up a chat bot where you can just tell the bot to make my lights colors. I have wanted this for ages. Now we just need to figure out like patterns, and then we'll really be in business. But no, Zhang, you can do ! feedback, and that will get you a link to a little Google form. If you don't mind just filling it out for me real quick, tells me more about you, your track, what you're looking for feedback on, what you want to talk about. And then we will get to it in just a few minutes. We're going to check out Iconic's track for feedback here. Then we'll be Infested, then Otrapic, and then potentially Zhang if Zhang wants to send something.
Xantha0 wants feedback on their song.
I love it, my friend. Very good. We got a couple other people, like I said, but we will get to it shortly here. And this is your video edit as well, Iconic? Neat edit. I also have done a lot of video editing where I can really enjoy doing video stuff. Color grading and VFX and all that is very fun. Guys, look who came to say hi. Pollo, hola. ¿Cómo estás, mi amigo? A rare live performance. Sorry, forgive me for skimming a little bit here, Iconic, but yes, Infested. This is a bit earlier. Oh, sorry. Nice. Okay. Yeah. Overall, really nice structure. I like, there's a lot of similarities probably to what I would say to the last track that you sent in a couple of days ago or last week or whenever that was. I like how you've, oh, my goodness. Such bright lights. The overall structure is nice, how it builds, where it goes, all that stuff is really, really good. I think that, again, like we were talking about on your last track, there's a lot of compression going on. I know you're using like samples and stuff from Splice, which is fine and great, and we all do. But I think there might be a bit much in terms of compression on some things. Just in terms of feeling like a little bit choked. I think the vocals are maybe a little bit only vocal samples. Oh, okay, great. Yeah, and that's mainly what sticks out to me is like the vocal feels very, very compressed. And what can end up happening is like, especially on a lot of these like very modern treated vocals and stuff that we get out of sample libraries, because they've usually already been processed pretty extensively. They've been tuned. They may have all kinds of effects on them. They're usually compressed and like ready to go for your track, so you don't really have to do much mixing. If you then add additional mixing on top of them, you end up like over baking them a little bit to the point where they sound a little more synthetic than they need to, and you end up bringing out some of the less pleasant sounding elements of like tuning, the artifact kind of stuff that might be pretty minimal in their raw or in the form that you get them out of the library, but then you add a bunch of compression on top of it and it brings a lot of those textures out that you don't necessarily want. I think the vocals are a little hot overall as well. Super. These are both. We've done both these are both of their video reacts. Transponder, the man of the hour. How's it going, buddy? Congratulations again on the win, man. Tell us more about it. They're dry. I think there's some plugin I used on this that does that certificate. Okay, gotcha. That makes sense. Yeah. And then I think it's also probably on the master a little bit. It's just a lot of compression or a lot of limiting on the master. That's just making it feel a little squeezed overall. So, I think and that stuff really just comes with like practice and time and listening and listening for the nuances of like what limiting and compression and clipping and all these tools that we use on our master, what all of those do to the overall sonics of the track. And the more practice you get with that and the more stuff that you listen to and the more you play with it and work with it, you get better at hearing like when it goes from compression to the point where it's making things nice and punchy into the point where it's actually having a bit more of an adverse effect on the overall mix. But beyond that, though, it's a great track. Like, your arrangements are excellent. Like, where you place drops, how you treat the vocals, and the elements that you build around them are all excellent. That's, I think, always with the previous track and then with this track as well. Just thinking a little bit more critically about our compression and all that kind of stuff, I think is a good thing to keep in mind as time goes on. So, but thank you for sharing. I always dig hearing your stuff, and it's very, very good. So thank you, man. Appreciate it. But let's keep cooking on some feedback here. Otrapic, we love it. Piano, guitar, clarinet. Okay. So this is not your track, but I was wondering if you could break down the mix engineering choices behind this song, specifically how the guitars are mixed. Okay, so this is more of just like a breakdown listen through here. This is wild. It reminds me of Amon Tobin a lot. One of my favorite things in the world is the Amon Tobin scored Splinter Cell 3, Chaos Theory. Go check out that soundtrack sometime. It is bananas. It is so good. It was like my number one influence when I was scoring Ares. Whoa. It does breathe. This is still compressed pretty heavily for a style of music like this. Okay, so what is going on here, Otrapic, is you have, I think, two guitars. There's a couple of things going on here, and this is actually a great thing to talk about for a second, because a lot of the time when you're getting sounds, it is less about the mix and more about how you're putting the production or the arrangement together. So I don't know if this is explicitly what he's doing, but I have a pretty good bet that this is what he's doing. There is an idea there's a technique that you can do when you're recording acoustic guitars that people call Nashville tuning. And Nashville tuning is basically, you if you do it the traditional way, you take the strings from a 12-string guitar and you take only the upper octave strings and you put it on a normal guitar. So what you get is basically a guitar that is an octave above how a normal guitar is tuned. And you record a part on a regular acoustic guitar, and then you double that part exactly on this guitar that's tuned in the Nashville tuning. And it gives you this incredibly cool twinkly effect. You hear it a lot on country and folk records. You can kind of fake it, or a very similar technique is to take a guitar and play a part normally in open positions, and then capo the guitar up 5th or 7th fret, and then find different chord voicings that reflect the same chords and play the same part, but just with slightly different voicings capoed. It gives you a very similar effect where it gives you this really rich, textural, much more sonically interesting and complex acoustic guitar part. I think there's something like that going on here, and he has them panned hard left and right or mostly hard left and right. They're very dry, very, very little reverb, if any at all, and quite heavily compressed through, I would guess, an optical compressor. It sounds like the attack is relatively slow. But this is less about the mix, and this is all about layering. And like layering just different, like a nylon string and a steel string, and there might even be like a mandolin somewhere in there, and then something with, something that's like a Nashville tuning layer or a capoed layer. How wide would you generally place the widest elements of my mix? As far as I can get them. I would place them hard left and right, and then use a stereo widener to push it out even more if I want my mix to feel really wide. You want to reserve that for very specific elements. And you can do, like somebody asked earlier, had a good question about mid-side EQing. I think that was you, Otropic. Repost that for me, because it was an interesting question. And we can talk more about that. Well, like there's lots of techniques that you can do. What's up, Nerox, over on the YouTube side? How's it going, friend? Good to see you again. There's a lot of techniques that you can do to get things wider and wider. You usually reserve that for certain elements in the mix that you want to be really wide. And it's a very useful technique for if you've got, let's say a bunch of different synthesizers, right? You've got pads, you've got an ARP, you've got a lead, whatever. And they're all in similar parts because they're all synths. They're all in kind of a similar portions of the frequency spectrum. You can, and then maybe they're clashing a little bit. Maybe you have some frequency masking. Maybe things are feeling a little muddy in the mids or in the upper register. You can take those different elements very intelligently and pan them or make certain ones really wide to kind of get them out of the center of the mix and get them out of the way. I think my mixes are too narrow in general. Not to bail on this, but it doesn't strike me as overly narrow. I do think you have room to push things wider, though, for sure. And I think that you could find that, when you compress in order to make things more audible, a lot of times if you just pan them, suddenly that problem takes care of itself. Because when you push things out into the stereo image, they can feel louder without you actually turning them up. Because you're getting them out into separate speakers and they're coming from other places almost physically within your mix. And so you can get more volume out of them than you normally would be able to. Over on the YouTube side, Nerox, what are we talking about today? Right now we are doing feedback for people and breaking down a couple of mixes that people are sending in and just kind of talking about why they sound the way that they sound. But yeah, everything here is pretty heavily compressed. Everything here is very wide. It's very, oh no, dude, don't be sorry. We're talking, we're having fun. This is what it's all about. It's not an interruption at all. Yeah, everything here is very wide. Everything here is is relatively heavily compressed. And it's less about the mix, and it's more about the layering and how they've gone about assembling the track and the instruments that they've chosen. Well, and it's not just guitars. There's definitely multiple acoustics in there. I think I hear a ukulele in there, maybe a baritone ukulele. I think I hear a mandolin. I think there could be a banjo back in there somewhere. Like even like a harp or something like that. And this is why I always advocate for having a bunch of, like, I just got this in. This is a gift from my dad. having a bunch of random stuff lying around your studio if you can, like this. This is a sultry. Because it just gives you more weird, interesting textures and layers to work with. And if you can't have, physical instruments, getting some sample libraries or just finding interesting things and different ways to layer things out. Because that's what gives you it's less about the mix and it's more about those kinds of choices. Can I play it? Sure. It is not tuned at all. I literally pulled it out of the box last night. I haven't gotten to mess with it. But it is traditionally played with a bow. I don't think you guys will actually be able to hear this super well. Let me see. Now I need to make a song using only physical instruments. Oh, absolutely. If I turn a bunch of stuff off here in OBS. Yeah, I don't know if it's an accordion either. It might be just strings. Here, I'm going to turn off a bunch of stuff in OBS, so let's see you guys can hear this a little bit. Yeah, very unique sounding instrument. It's called a bowed psaltery, and you can pluck it as well, and it sounds really cool. Sort of dulcimer-esque. But I'm going to be playing all kinds of interesting... I'm going to be using that for all kinds of interesting stuff. And you don't have to be like an amazing... I'm going to sit here and learn how to play this thing really well. Just being able to sample it. Or just like, use it to build pads. Just like, tune it, figure out how to get a chord out of it, and then just like hold... notes, just rub the bow and get some kind of sound out of it. Even just that does wonders for making your productions sound really interesting and really, really unique. Oh no, I'm sorry, Super. So anyways, yeah, this is all about layering. Mix-wise, things are panned really hard and things are compressed relatively hard, and there's very little reverb, if any. That's about all that's going on in the mix. But honestly, it's like, this reminds me of my dad, because my dad is everything that I don't know if I've ever showed you guys really like what my dad does. My dad is when it comes to recording acoustic instruments, my dad is one of the most talented engineers I know or have ever met. Where is a good example of some stuff that my dad has done that sounds just awesome? No. No. I want to find a good example of his like acoustic guitar stuff. Yeah, they don't have his first record is like their first record is the one that has this tune called Bonnie Portmore, which is an old Irish traditional that they did that sounds insane. But my dad is really, really, really good at miking up acoustic instruments and getting them to sound phenomenal. And I can talk about like general general like acoustic recording techniques if you want, but oh yeah, no, there's hang on, let me try to find it somewhere that's not Spotify, because I don't know. It should be on here. Yeah, here we go. It just wasn't showing up. There's no guitar in this. This is all my stepmom playing cello, but my dad engineered and mixed this. And it is just jaw-dropping. Yeah, that was recorded in our living room. No, so my dad, yeah, I mean, I appreciate you chatting, Iconic. And that's what, when you have a great musician playing a great song on a great instrument, and my dad has good mics and really knows exactly how to mic stuff. Like, you don't need fancy compressors and big reverbs and a bunch of like productions. Like, you've won most of the battle already, just by having a good instrument in the hands of a good player playing a great song and a decent way to capture it. Like, yeah, Acoustic Eidolon is the name of their duo. It's not, you know, they have a shtick that's very well put together for, like, they do symphony shows, they tour all over the world, actually. Super, they're going to be in your neck of the woods in May. They've done tours all over Germany and France and Norway and the Faroe Islands and stuff for years and years and years. No, my dad is a 6-time Grammy nominated engineer producer. I grew up in his studio. That's where I learned how to do everything. And he's amazing. He's so good at what they, just everything that they do. Where is other good? Hey, Core, how's it going? We are, yes, we're doing feedback. We're just hanging out today, honestly. I'll go on a rant again in a little bit when we get to it, but I'm switching DAWs more than likely.
Hatecore_ wants feedback on their song.
Because we're super done with super done with Studio One. They just yesterday announced Fender bought PreSonus, the company that makes Studio One, a couple of years ago, and they announced it's no longer called PreSonus Studio One. It's called Fender Studio Pro. And I hate it. And then they shipped a build that won't let you export things with automation. And so I'm done. I'm sick and tired of dealing with crap from Studio One. Cubase. We're going to install Cubase today and play around with Cubase. So that's ultimately what we're trying to get to. But 10 Landar. Thank you so much for tuning in. Just wonder, exclamation point feedback is get feedback. Yes. So feedback is for tracks that you have produced or like that you're working on and you want feedback from me as like an engineer, producer. Song request we're not really doing right now. Song request is if you just like have a track you want me to play along with, like on guitar or drums or something. We do that sometimes, but we're not really doing song requests at the moment. But if you have a track that you are working on or that you have released that you want to get feedback on, professional feedback on, no worries, Otropic. I hope your boyfriend's okay. No, well, it's a bug. Like, of course, you know, automation is a thing, but it's a bug. They just, you know, it's NAMM out in Anaheim. So it's convention season for everybody releasing their new products, and they're like, "Hey, here's our new version of the DAW," and they ship the first version. There's a bug where when you export, automation is disabled. So yeah, and this is Studio One was crashing all the time like crazy. And I'm done with it. Yeah. Probably because the code was written by fucking AI. Ooh, hey guys, royalty check. I love royalty checks. I just got money for doing nothing. Yay! Or more accurately, I got money for doing things years ago. I like that. I like that as a nice little surprise email. Anyway, you had every chance to go to Ableton. How should we do the thing with the thing with Ableton, I love Ableton. It's very cool. As we were talking about the other day, I can't deal with the transport. I can't deal with the editing, and I can't deal with its lack of scoring, and like raw audio and mixing, the kinds of mixing stuff that I am used to using. I will continue to use Ableton for live looping and performance, of course, because it's the best in the business, and I love how creative it is. But I can't do it as a full-time commitment. I just can't. It's too weird. Yeah, my use case is specific, and then my use case is everything. It is. I will just show you. Iconic. It is $209.37. So that's pretty nice. I wish it was a 5-digit fucking number. That would be great. But no, I do not make that much money. I have no shame in telling people I make about 60 grand a year. It is not, I am not wealthy by any stretch of the imagination, but I'm very lucky that I get to make that doing music. So, yeah. And that's from one company for just courses that I recorded years ago that they continue to sell. So, no, yeah. Hey, Core, they didn't remove it. It's just bugged, on Mixdown. So they're going to fix it, I'm sure. But it's like, I have literally 2 clients right now. I have 600 hours worth of work. That are waiting to get shit, and I literally can't send them their projects and I don't know if they're going to fix the bug today or in 3 weeks. So in the interim, I'm going to just go back to using version 7 and ditch using version 8, but I already started 2 projects in 8 yesterday. Whatever. It's stupid, but we're going to play with Cubase, and I think Cubase might be our ultimate, resample and render the resample. Yeah, that's effectively what I'll end up doing. If you freeze the tracks, it'll just bake in the automation. But I have automation on the master. And what are you going to do there? So open up Audacity and use a loop back on my interface to send. I mean, that is literally what I'm going to do to send the track to one person. You cannot do that in Studio. Well, there's probably a way to do that in Studio One. It's not anything I've ever needed to do. I don't know if you can. Currently unemployed in a financial swamp, but it is what it is. Oh, I'm sorry. It'll turn around. Don't you worry. Yeah, there are ways to do the same kind of a thing in Studio One. I don't generally work that way. So yes, you got it, Iconic. Don't you worry, man. It's a tough market out there right now, but things will. We just need this AI bubble to pop, and then everything's gonna suck for like a couple of months, and then they'll figure it out. Yep, absolutely. I kind of have to. Feedback from song like game and anime. Not a producer, but you want to know how they do it. Yeah, that's fine. We can do that. Sure. We've kind of done a couple of those already today. It's not something we've like usually done a bunch on stream. But yeah, why not? We're just kind of poking around, having fun. But let's keep going with feedback because we do have some more tracks to listen to. Zhang, you are up next, followed by Hatecore. So let's listen to those, and then yeah, sure. If you want 10, if you want to put something in there, you're welcome to. Did you turn on the other lights, the non-lift? Yes, I have. Oh shit, Infested. Did I skip over you? I'm so sorry. Infested is next then Zhang. Sorry, I think I clicked the arrow too early or something. What happened? I don't know, but somehow Infested got skipped. I'm so sorry. I'm a terrible person. Where am I at here? Get out of here. We've got Infested, then... Now I'm all screwed up. Infested, then Zhang, then Hatecore. That's what's going on. Super. To answer your question, yes, I have my main lights on. Oof. Ooh. Really nice. What a lovely little moment here. I love this, man. It's super nice. I was gonna the only thing that that stuck out, I liked when you went to the quarter notes right here. You could lean into that as a longer section, a little quarter note driving thing. It ups the energy in a really, really nice way. There's also a moment where there's a tiny clash. Right there. There's a note somewhere that's hanging, that's muddying for just a second. Other than that, it's lovely. Great changes, great movement. You could also, the pits in the cello and the basses, you could change up a little bit the rhythm here and there, I think, as you continue to develop it out. But it's great, man. I can't wait to see where this one goes. This is very cool. AI shouldn't be a consumer product. No, it shouldn't. It sucks in general. AI, the greatest irony of our age is how much money and how much marketing has gone into AI for a product that fundamentally cannot do fucking anything that they claim it can do. We won't go off on it. I've spent enough. Money, exactly. Exactly. You're funny, Hatecore. Yes, it's a bucket with like the wealth of half of Africa just being passed around in a circle. Well, Infested, they want it to be the other way around, but it's not. I'm still here. I'm still getting clients. Everybody that I know is still getting clients. I know professional illustrators who are still getting clients. I know, it like it's affecting like it's affecting the it will affect certain parts of these industries, and it already has very much so. And there's a lot of like music production that is done in conjunction with AI as like a songwriting partner and stuff like that. And that, but, I have never met or spoken to a single person who actually gets on and is like, no, I want an AI generated music playlist. Yeah, and then there's the whole like water and electricity issue and the compute issue. And yeah, we won't even, I've spent plenty of time on this stream ranting about how fucking dumb AI is, but let's focus on you guys' awesome tracks. Infested, this is killer. And just keep going with it. I don't, there was like that little spot with the Clash there, and I think the quarter note idea is cool. You and me both, absolutely. Don't threaten me with a good time. I will go off on it for hours. The quarter note thing is cool. Just playing with the rhythm in the bass a little bit in the back half could be cool, but it's great. It's super, super nice. I can't wait to hear what you end up doing with it. But on that note, okay, up next, who do we got? Zhang, you are up, my friend. New friend of the channel. Working in BandLab. Excellent. Play guitar and piano. Very cool. Me too. It's a cover of Owl City. Exceptional. Mix master recording performance qualities, what we're looking for feedback on. Okay.
The stars lean down to kiss you, so I lie awake and miss you. Pour me a heavy dose of atmosphere, 'cause I'll doze off safe and soundly, but I'll
thank you for the follow, 10.
miss your arms around me. I'd send a postcard to you, dear, 'cause I wish you were here.
Okay. A couple of quick questions. The track in the background, is that mostly like loops that were pulled in from Bandcamp?
I'll watch the night turn light blue, but it's not the same without you.
Track was sent by a friend. Okay, interesting.
Cause it takes two to whisper quietly. The silence isn't so bad till I look at my hands and feel sad. Cause the spaces between my fingers are right where yours fit perfectly. I'll find repose in new ways, though I haven't slept in 2 days. Cause cold nostalgia chills me to the bone. But drenched in vanilla twilight, I'll sit on the front porch.
Just talking about things as I hear them. Your vocal performance is really good. I would say quite a bit too much compression on the vocal. It feels extremely squished and extremely kind of flat. And I'm losing some of the nice like dynamic and nuance of the performance. And it's also making, I agree with you, Hate, it's pretty sibilant. So sibilance, if you're not familiar with what the word sibilance means, it's basically just describing the S sounds that you make as you sing or as you speak. And we have tools called de-essers that are basically band-focused compressors that help us tame. Yes, and T's can have sibilance as well. That help us tame those. Usually, it totally depends on your voice. Like I, for instance, have a very low sibilance point. My sibilance point's around like 3K. Some singers are more like 5, 6, even 7K, depending on what your voice naturally sounds like. But yeah, it's a frequency that can come across as very, very harsh, and especially when you compress vocals really heavily, it can make that problem a little bit worse.
All night, waist deep in thought, because when I think of you, I don't feel so alone.
Yeah, it's typically like 5 to 7K is typically where it ends up.
I don't feel so alone. I don't feel so alone. I don't feel so. As many times as I blink, I'll think
Hey, I'm 35 years old. I don't engage in brain rot.
of you.
I caught it. I noticed that I just don't. In my experience with that kind of stuff, if you just totally just ruthlessly step on it, and you go 6, 7K, yeah, like 5K sometimes, you just don't even acknowledge it.
I'll think of you tonight. All right, let's do it. When violet eyes get brighter
Ooh,
and
nice.
heavy wings grow
That was a cool transition.
lighter, I'll taste the sky and feel alive again. And I'll forget the world that I knew, but I swear I won't forget you. Oh, if my voice could reach back to the past and whisper in your ear. Oh, darling, I wish you were here. When violet eyes get brighter and heavy wings grow lighter.
Yeah, so I think just in general, just the performance is really good, but just the processing overall on the vocal is just, I think, a little bit too much. It feels a little over compressed. It feels a little over tuned. I can definitely hear that there's some tuning on there, and I think, but the tuning I think is probably set to like a chromatic mode, and so it's grabbing certain notes and actually pitch correcting them to the wrong note that's not in the scale that you're trying to sing in. And it's a little sibilant. It's a little bit, and you can control all of this stuff in BandLab. I think probably the BandLab presets, if you just like pull up like the thing where it's like vocal compression, is probably too much. So I would go in there, and if you're not, still gonna hold it. Yeah, for sure, man. And if you have any specific questions, I would be more than happy to like drill down and talk about or answer anything that you have questions on. It'd be, we do a lot of that here on the channel. But yeah, I would just go in and like open up those things in BandLab, like bring up the threshold on the compressor, for example, and bring down the ratio on the compressor so that it's compressing less intensely. And like go into the whatever it's doing for auto tune, and like back off the intensity of the auto tune a little bit. If there's a really crazy EQ, like really heavy EQ settings, like turn those down a little bit. Just let it breathe a little bit more. You have a cool voice, and definitely a unique and cool voice, and your performance is good. And even if you're like a little pitchy in spots, I would always rather hear a more natural sounding vocal that's a little pitchy than an artificial or overprocessed sounding vocal. That is like quote unquote perfect. You know what I mean? Yes, Melodyne over Autotune, absolutely. I mean, I don't think BandLab has either Melodyne or Antares. I think they have their own thing that's probably. And I think BandLab, in terms of its like presets and stuff, just defaults to over the top to a certain extent because, better safe than sorry, I guess, in their opinion. But yeah, and then I would have thoughts on the track as well. But knowing that a friend sent it to you, I won't get into that.
Taste the sky and feel
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, I agree. Hey, 100%.
I'll forget the world is
And that octave down vocal is a cool idea. It's a little loud, I think.
I swear I won't forget you. Oh, if my voice could reach back to the past and whisper in your ear. Oh, darling, I wish you were here. Oh, darling, I wish.
Yeah, and then the overall compression on the whole track. I think it worked. It was compressed with the vocal group instead of being a layer. Yeah, potentially. Tweak things, man. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, and then the compression on like the master output is also quite strong. Probably a little bit more than you need, because when you start stacking a lot of compression on a vocal, and then like maybe a lot of compression on your friend's track, and then you also then put a lot of compression on the master output of the whole thing, it ends up feeling pretty squished, pretty squashed. I mean, the Beatles invented modern production in a lot of ways. Well, Phil Spector and a whole bunch of guys all had a hand in that. But who's the other guy that did a bunch of the Beatles stuff? I can't remember. But no, it's. I think the takeaway is you have a really cool, unique voice, and I like your performance a lot. I think just backing off on those mix elements, I think is going to do you a lot of good. So yeah, but thank you very much for sharing. And it's definitely it's a cool cover. I dig it. You get 2 thumbs up from me. The first overused compression back then, it wasn't even used for music, so it was definitely used for music. We talked about this recently. No, thank you for sharing, man. I appreciate it, and thank you for hanging out. You are welcome here anytime. And like I said, if you ever have any questions on anything like specific, like how to use a compressor or how to tweak it correctly, like what the knobs do, you just let me know in chat. I'm happy to show you and talk about it. We were talking about the history of compression the other day. Compression was originally invented in the 30s for radio broadcast, including like military applications, to prevent overmodulation on AM radio signals, and also like in battlefield situations to control bombs and all this kind of stuff. But they started adopting it when they cutting vinyl in the 1940s was like the first application that they brought it over into the music side. Was cutting to vinyl when they were doing direct-to-disc recording in the 40s. And then from there, I mean, you had, absolutely. No, you had units like the Gates Stay Level was a very early one. Even the LA2A was, I think, 1956 or so is when that was invented. The original UA176 was a very early compressor. Fairchild 670, of course, legendary, and 660. The Altec Lansing 436C. You had a bunch of really old compressors from the 50s. Federal AM 864 that were designed originally from radio, but definitely were being used for music. But you're definitely, in the sense that the Beatles were the first to kind of go over the top with it, for sure. Or they were among the first to lean into that vibe and like use a 670 to get Ringo's kit to sound just like, massive and thwappy and cool. But there's a compressor called the RS-124, which is a custom modified Altec Lansing 436C that was built by, like, Abbey Road, the studio that the Beatles recorded at, had their own staff the EMI. They had their own staff of techs that would build all custom gear. So you got like the J37 was a modified Studer tape machine, tube powered tape machine that they modified for use in Abbey Road. The Red 37 and 51 preamps and recording consoles. The EMI TG stuff, which was solid state after the tube stuff in the early 70s, which is what you hear on all the Pink Floyd records. All of that was custom built for Abbey Road by their own in-house techs. You can get plugins on a lot of this stuff, like the RS-124 from Waves I use all the time, or any of the Abbey Road stuff from Waves is all designed around that, or to designed to mimic that like custom Abbey Road gear from way back in the day. Some of the rarest equipment ever. I love the Abbey Road stuff. It's fantastic. And they just actually, this is so cool. This is like ultra nerdy. But they just for NAMM this year, was it UA? Where is it? Yes. Chandler and Abbey Road just rebuilt the original Red TG consoles as a real actual console. This is so sexy. Like, you guys have no idea how cool. Look at that thing. Oh, it's so pretty. Like, this is, if you've ever used the Abbey Road TG, this would set you back. This thing's going to be like $120,000. But if you've ever used the TG channel or the TG mastering or the TG limiter or any of that stuff from Waves, or if you've ever used the Chandler, the actual rack gear, that is all built around this, and they're now making the actual consoles again. If you could, sure, you can. It's just a mixer. You can mix anything on it. But my God, is it pretty? I would kill to get to work with something like this someday. And it's even got the fucking quadrant faders, which is like, those haven't been in production for probably 70 years. I have no idea where they would even get quadrant faders anymore. Oh, glorious germanium saturation is what you would get. Because these are all germanium diode based. This is a design called the quadrant fader, which was basically like their solution before they had what we call faders now that are just purely linear. This is like it's almost like a rotary pot, but it's giant. And then they put it like, it's, look up quadrant faders. They're very interesting, and they don't get used for anything anymore. I think they're used in like airplane controls now. But anyways, gear nerd moment. We love it, and I can't wait to see people start to like use this thing and review it and stuff. I have no idea how much it's going to cost, but an enormous amount of money. Ad warning. Well, I guess we're going to go to ads here for a second. So you guys aren't going to miss much. But up next will be more feedback. Who do we have next? Hate, followed by this track from 10 that we're going to check out. Oh, I'm good. My ad block works. Oh, yay. Oh, no, dude, Hate. I make like $4 a month from ads. If you want to support, subscribe. That's the way to do it. But don't worry about it. You're fine. I use ad block on everything. Okay, up next is you, Hate. Let's check out what you got going on. Some more exceptionally textural sound design, I'm sure. Such space. Oh yeah, let me check that real quick while everybody else is in a minute of ads here. This is made for a stream concept where you're given an image, given 2 hours to produce an OST that matches the vibe of the image. The image in question being the space. Oh, okay. What is that from? Dead Space? What is that from? No, I do recognize that. What game is that from? Or maybe that's not even from a game. Maybe it's just something somebody made. Yeah, I feel like I recognize that. I can't remember from what, though. The ship design looks Dead Spacey. Is this a granulator? No, Hayden, I had no idea.
Initiate landing sequence.
Gotcha, okay. Yeah, I've been playing with Granulator 2 recently. Very fun. Gotcha. Very nice five polymeter on the ARP there. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so we technically call that, well, yeah, I guess you'd call it quintuplets, groupings of 5. Usually I think of quintuplets as being like, instead of 16th notes, you have 5 notes as a subdivision of a single beat. But yeah, I mean, it's, you know. How did you make? What is that sound? How did you put that together? That's a very cool sound. It's gorgeous overall. I love the chord progression as well. You're going crazy on the sound design. I think it's a really good level, and it's a serum patch. Okay, cool. I actually think the level of sound design is pretty good. Mix wise, I know you said it took 2 hours, so Harmonic series wavetable. Oh, interesting. Okay. Being Gotcha. God, wild. Things that I honestly don't really know how to and would never think to do. I love it. I need to get more into that stuff, man. I really do. I'm so like old school in how I think about everything. This section right here, the chords, Shibuya Xenophoid. I love that username. Very cool. So if you're familiar with PitchMap, no, I am not. I am not an Ableton Power user by any stretch of the imagination. I have literally been using it for about a month and a half. This section, I love the chord movement. The ARP could be louder and the chord movement could evolve a little bit more. It forces certain harmonics to print onto a sound, making kind of like a vocoder spectre. Oh, okay. Cool. Gotcha. Oh, wait. Yeah, I'm thinking of Pitch Loop 89. I will. There's also Chroma. Yeah, I was going to say that sounds like what Chroma does. Sort of spectral resonator-y stuff, which is very cool. Very, very interesting things. Gotcha. Yeah. I'm low-key scared of submitting my song because I'm seeing your setup and I know you'll roast my master chain. Don't be scared. We're very kind around here. Although if your track is over-compressed, I might say something about it. You never know. But it's okay. Don't you worry. We get very nerdy around here, and we're always as kind as we can be. But yes, my setup is a good time. We like it. Do not send a clip. Don't say that, Hate. You'll be banned. Yes, absolutely. Unless your track has an overall dynamic range of 40 dB, then I won't even listen to it. No, hey, that was my one thought is like this section feels a little static and ARP up, I think, and just more evolution of the chords. The chord progression, though, is gorgeous. And the groove in the back half is great. I love that Serum patch that you built. And just overall, the arrangement is fantastic. You would be very, very good at doing scoring stuff.
Xenophoid wants feedback on their song.
Excellent. Yay. Yeah, so you just got a link there to a Google form if you don't mind filling that out for me just real quick. Just tells me more about you, your song, how you put it together, and what you specifically want feedback on, if anything. And then there's, I think, one more in queue ahead of you, and then we will check it out. Well, no, I mean, the thing is, hey, you know how to build a lot of textures that I don't know how to build. So like, it's not that, it's not about being as good as anyone. You can do like stuff in this style, the really sound designy stuff. You smoke me all day long, 100%, different skill sets, 100%. If you get into that world, I will say the mastering approach, in terms of all the loudness stuff is very different in the game world because in Engine, it just works differently and you want to shoot for lower, and you want to shoot for more dynamic range because there's like additional compression and loudness standards and specs when you're implementing using tools like Wise, and stuff. Even Doom, I don't know what they release to the public, but like when you are, I'm saying when you're delivering stuff to developers, I shoot oftentimes for actually even quieter than I normally would shoot for, like -18, because they have a lot of additional room in the engine to get things exactly how they want it. And then you're also contending with the fact that, well, yeah, because you've got to think about if this track is playing over this sequence, the amount of sound design that is going on top of what you've done, and dialogue and interaction sounds and incidental momentary sound effect stuff is huge. So they need a lot more flexibility and a lot more dynamic range to let things sit how they need to sit. And if you send them something that's at -4 or whatever, like even if they turn it down, it's going to be so intense and blasting, it's going to interfere with like perception of dialogue. It's going to interfere with potentially like environmental sound cues. You know, so it's a bit of a different world when it gets into that stuff where you gotta keep all that in mind from like a player experience perspective. And yeah, so you'd have to probably make a little bit of an adjustment on that front. But writing wise, production wise, composition wise, sound design wise, oh, what's up, Explorer? Yeah, I stream every single day, Monday through Friday at 2 p.m. Eastern time in the U.S. And I'm so glad you thought the stream was fun. I appreciate it. I started producing at 11 back in 2021. My God, I'm old. Well, that's very, very cool. I love it. Take away the 30 clippers spread all over the project. I mean, potentially, you know. You hope to stream today, but we'll see. Okay, awesome. Well, I will keep an eye out for that. Only getting left audio speaker on the mic. Oh, from my stream or on your? Oh, on your end. Okay, gotcha. Yeah, gremlins in the system are perpetually an issue for all of us. Trust me. Yeah. I started Shibuya. That's very cool. I also started seriously making music when I was 11, but that was 24 years ago. So, yeah, I've been doing it for a while. I've been a full-time professional producer, composer, multi-instrumentalist, mix master engineer for 16 years now. I've been in the business. So yeah, that's mostly what my stream is about. We hang out, we give people feedback on their tracks. I do a lot of paid commissioned work on stream. So I produce records for artists. I score video games. I do commercial production for film and TV, and we hang out and I work on stuff, and I talk about, you know, like how I write, how I arrange, how, you know, we talk about music theory, mixing, you know, mastering, different production techniques and stuff. Try to be educational and informative and stuff. First time making dubstep, but I mainly make house and funk. Okay, excellent. For as long as I've been alive. I mean, if you want to get technical, I got my very first drum set when I was 3. So, take it from here. Indeed. Anyway, but no, sick track. Hey, your stuff always sounds absolutely phenomenal. So thank you for sharing. It's always a pleasure to check it out. Okay, up next is Ten Landar. And I don't think this is a track of Ten Landar's. I think Ten just wanted me to listen to this and talk about the production and mix on it. Interesting. This vocal is really heavily tuned, which is kind of unusual for anime stuff like this. Yeah, so this style of production I kind of call the kitchen sink because it's absolutely everything. Most of this stuff is very sample based, so it's usually not a ton of live instruments. A lot of it is programmed using sample libraries. This particular mix is extremely tight, just in terms of being really loud, really punchy, a lot of compression. That might also be whoever uploaded this to YouTube. That sometimes happens if people are re-uploading things from their favorite shows. Yeah, I think whoever uploaded this compressed it somehow or made it louder than it needs to be because it sounds really overcompressed, but that's neither here nor there. Oh, super. One of my favorite tunes of all time is the original theme from Ghost in the Shell standalone complex, which is a tune called Inner Universe. And the lyrics are a mix of Latin, Russian, English, and Japanese. It is such a mindfuck. Insane piece of music. It is so cool. It's absolutely gorgeous. But yeah, it's just kind of everything. So like, obviously you have a lot of elements from metal in there. Like I can hear some really low chuggy, like 8-string guitar, 9-string guitar type sounds. You've got big blasty drums. You then also have like electronic drum programming going on. You have an interesting like a harpsichord sound in there. Really big like formant swept synth that like ow, ow, ow. We do that with what's called a formant filter, which kind of mimics what your vocal cords do. Yeah, it's just kind of everything. There's elements of literally every style of music imaginable here. And that's really cool. And obviously it's very well put together and all that. But it's always a little hard for me to listen to because exactly to your point, Otropik, agreed. Like there's so much going on that it just becomes sound at a certain point. And I can't really track all of it. It's where I'm just like, cool, you've got metal guitars, classic rock guitars, rapping, there's a choir, there's 4 different singers, there's an entire symphony orchestra with all of the complements, there's war drums, there's drum and bass breaks, there's dubstep grooves, there's full like rock drum set, there's electric bass, there's synth bass, there's 9 different layers of pads and arps and leads and massive crazy transitions and fills are happening every 4 measures. And I'm just like, it's very impressive to put together, but yes, many things happen, very much so. Goodness. Yeah, it's like the sound design is all very cool. If somebody were to commission me to put together a track like this, I would charge them a lot of money because it would take me like a month to like get all of those elements in there. It's certainly cool though. It's neat. It's a little hard to make any comments on the mix because whoever uploaded this, I think, turned it up way too loud basically, and so there's a lot of like limiting and compression that makes it a little hard to hear what's going on just on the YouTube end of things. But it's neat, that's for sure. Hopefully it was interesting, a little bit of a breakdown. But thanks for sharing. Very cool. All right, Shibuya, you are up. And yes, good on you for not doing Spotify. Spotify is one of the most evil companies known to man. They are absolutely horrible. So let's check out what you got going on here. You play basic piano. Okay, very cool. Working in FL. Dubstep mixed with Daft Punky type sample chopping. Synths are inspired from Skrillex. Okay. Looking for production or feedback on more or less everything. Okay. Let's check it out.
15-year-old girl.
Griselda, 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 by Fashion Rebel, Fashion Rebel.
Interesting. All right. Really, really nice work overall. I really like how you're using a lot of the samples. It's very chaotic, but in a very, very cool way. Just chopping like whole bits of the whole entire tracks in there, very rhythmically is neat. I can't say I've heard a lot like that before. I think overall the arrangement is really good. I think your sound design is good. I think there's room to do a little bit more with this main, I don't know if you'd call it a bass sound per se. Like that sound, it gets a little loopy by the end of it. So it could be a thing of changing up the notes that it's playing, how it's, it's playing the rhythms that it's playing. Or just doing a little bit more like sound designy stuff with it. It's quite narrow, and a lot of your mix is quite narrow. And it's the initial preset. Okay, yeah, yeah. You could bring in and just do a little bit more with that sound. I think both in terms of the design of the sound itself and the settings in there. Add some like unison to it. Add some kind of automated filtering in many, many different ways you could do stuff with. The Formant filter could be kind of cool on that sound that you bring in and out with automation. I think mostly what I'm missing from it is just width.
I like 15-year-old girl.
Because like a lot, like your drums are super wide in the stereo image, and then like the samples are coming in super wide, on different sides of the mix, imaging wise. But a lot of the synth stuff, the core synth stuff is quite narrow. And I feel like it could be wider. It could have more presence. Your core synths could have more presence, especially in the top end, kind of sparkly end of things in the stereo image. It's good. The track has great energy, absolutely, and like it grooves really, really well. You had mentioned me ripping your master bus. This is not actually nearly as compressed as some things I have heard. I do think it's a little heavy on the compression on the master. Not even in terms of loudness. I understand people want stuff loud, but loudness and compression are two separate topics. They're related, and a lot of times need different amounts of compression to get loudness out of your track, of course. But you can have a track that is really loud that is not overcompressed, and then you can have tracks that are super overcompressed that aren't loud. Like they're two independent things. And so I think there's just a bit much in terms of compression on the master bus. It's not crazy, but I do think it's robbing a little bit of texture and a little bit of particularly like mid-range definition out of things. Yeah, no, I mean the mid-range sounds pretty good. I think my main thing is like just a touch too much compression overall. But that main synth, I want to hear it do more interesting things, particularly in the stereo image. I feel like it could definitely be wider. It doesn't have to be as wide as everything else, but pulling stereo stuff in and out, adding, chorusing or something like that and taking it away and having it, because it just feels very laser focused in the middle now. And I feel like it could be a little more Doesn't have to be here, but it could be a little more, in that area, stereo width wise. Low end's pretty good. I'm missing a little bit of real like subbiness out of the kick. So you could boost maybe a little bit down 50, 60 hertz. Maybe. Like the kick is super punchy and super in your face. That's great. But I'm missing like a depth to it. A subby, real low, thick depth. But yeah, overall, it's really nice. The arrangement's really, really good. Like where all the transitions are and how it, it goes a lot of different places throughout the course of the whole thing, which is really good. It's a really strong track, man. It's really, really nice. Yeah, like I said, maybe a little more subby, a little less compression, and just think about, some ways that you can maybe make that central synth evolve more over the course of the track and take up a little bit more room in the stereo image. I think you'll be in real good shape with it. But thank you very much for sharing. It's super cool. And for being as young as it sounds like you are, great work. Very, very impressive. So yeah, thank you for sharing. I appreciate it, man. It's very, very cool. Okay, someone else. I'm curious what your moral boundaries surrounding AI in music are. A few years ago, I used an AI TTS model to generate an audio file of a person narrating, but the rest of the track was made by me, for instance. I think there's some interesting applications of AI music apart from having it generate entire songs. That's a great question, and honestly, it's something I'm still thinking about and trying to parse out, Ochbek, because, it's kind of like anything else in that it is a tool. And I am generally in favor of, knew this needed more sauce, indeed. Thank you. Thank you, Super. Generally, I am in favor of anything that helps people be more creative, right? And so I think that there is a world in which, like for example, I have used it. Well, I haven't personally used it, but like I have had clients send me references that they have made using something like Suno. And it's been enormously helpful where like they have a concept, like for a game, like we were doing this on the Androcosm soundtrack a little bit, and then on the Mirrorball soundtrack as well with Jeremy. He would have a specific idea for a track and he would go, okay, I'm going to find you a couple of things from other artists that I like the style of. And then I'm going to take an idea and spit it, put it into Suno and see what Suno spits out, and then send those as a reference point for what I want you to do. And that's helpful. Like that to me isn't really a whole very different than somebody sending me a reference on YouTube or a reference on SoundCloud or something of like, hey, can you do something in this style? I think really where the moral or ethical sort of implications come in has less to do with what it's making and has more to do with the commercialization of it. Because what you don't want fundamentally is industries going away. And I mean, obviously, like I'm biased because I want to keep my job because I love producing music for a living. But at the same time, if people like me go away and everything just gets replaced with shit generated by Suno or whatever, like it's not just that I lose my job, it's that an entire skill set of how to do a thing goes away. And it's 2026. We still have people who do calligraphy for a living. We still have blacksmiths. We still it's rare, of course, these things. We still have farriers, people who do horseshoes, put shoes on horses for a living. We still have coopers, people who repair shoes. Cobblers are people who repair shoes. We have coopers who make barrels. These are all things that were super relevant careers in like 1650, and people still do it today. The issue is like losing these skills, losing the perspective, and losing the ability to make things that are new and interesting, and then also the financial that it does to the industries and the economies and all of this. Like, that's more where I have a problem with it. If somebody, perfect example, my stepdad, my husband's dad, he plays guitar, plays bass, was in a band in the 70s and 80s doing kind of like fusion prog rock stuff. And he's written a ton of songs. He's never had the opportunity to go into a real studio and record any of that stuff. So he pulled out some of his old lyrics and he fed it into one of the Gen AI music things just so that he could hear his songs for a moment as what they could maybe sound like as a real song. And then we went over and we were hanging out with him and he was like, yeah, these AI stuff is crazy. I don't know what it's doing, but this is these lyrics that I wrote and it gave me this song. It's kind of cool. I don't really have an issue with that. As long as the people, the training data for the model has been compensated and the rights are all secure, it's like, okay, that's fine, whatever. Because there's no world in which he's a client. He's never going to come into my studio and go, oh, I'm going to pay you your full fee to put this song together. It was something he did on a lark on an afternoon. And he then also wasn't going, I made this. He went, I wrote the lyrics and then AI made it. It's like, yeah, that's all fine. It's where people are trying to, let's say I'm charging $500 for a piece for a video game. And then there's a guy next to me who's using Suno and asking for $500 for the same piece for a video game. That's a fucking problem. Because in no way did he make that. In no way is he contributing that level of value to that project. And then when you compound that with the fact that the models are not trained ethically, that rights are not being paid to rights holders based on the training data, when you add all of that into it, it becomes a really, really serious problem. So, I think that if you're using it as a tool to aid your creative process and you're using a model that's built ethically, sure. I think that the second you cross the line, 16 years of training, learning, and skill building demolished by AI, same profit though. Yeah, that's the idea. Now, fortunately, that's not really happening particularly. Outside of it being people just scamming people, because that's really what that is. And I do think that, there's a certain, especially if you go on sites like Fiverr or whatever, like there's people out there that are doing that. It's predatory. And when people realize that they've been scammed in that way, if they realize it, then they're universally angry. And that's what we've got going for us, is that even 2, 3, 4 years into this whole AI thing, people fucking hate it. People cannot stand it. Nobody out there wants to listen to AI music. Nobody wants to watch AI generated videos. Anytime anyone sees anything AI generated on Shorts or TikTok, this slop short form content, if they don't realize it's AI, they swipe past. And I guess there's a lot of boomers out there who are watching it not knowing it's AI. That's a problem. But anyone who knows that what they're watching is AI is immediately angry. And that's a really important thing, because that's not going to change no matter how much it's shoved down anyone's throats. I really don't believe that anyone is going to tolerate it or pay for it. It's like when OpenAI came out and was like, oh yeah, our new profit, idea to make profit is to rip off, have Sora 2, this TikTok knockoff where anyone can deep fake anybody. It's like, what? You think that's going to make money? Like, are you insane? Ads of old Grammys and Gramps that are going out of business and plead for people to buy their AI stuff in an AI ad. Yeah, that is, but that's I can't believe that's working very well. At least it's probably not working better than any other scam that people have been running on the internet forever. That's just the latest version of the Nigerian prince email that we've had since 1995. Scammer's going to scam, and so they just have a new tool in their tool belt, and that kind of sucks. But what I'm speaking to is more just people hate this shit. They don't want it. And when people don't want a thing and the thing doesn't sell, and people don't actually, people might go use Sora 2 to make videos of Sam Altman doing crazy, disgusting things, but nobody's going to pay for it. You know what I mean? And so it's not sustainable as a business practice. the big music generation tools are also being bought up by actual record labels and being sequestered off into corners with a lot of rights control. And, they're going to get very expensive for people to use. They're going to get much more difficult for people to use. So I'm not that worried that the music industry is going to collapse or anything. I guess it could, but I'm not. From where I'm sitting and from what I see, I'm still getting plenty of work. All my friends are still getting plenty of work. And it's not like I see people flocking to AI and using Suno to make music unless they were never going to hire somebody in the first place. It's there's kids out there who maybe they're making a Roblox game or something, and they are, they want music for it. So they're using Suno as an alternative to ripping shit off of YouTube. But that's not a kid that was ever going to come pay me $5,000 to do his game. It's just not. And the people who have $5,000 to hire a composer to do a game are still going to composers to do their game. Artists, certainly artists who want a record produced are going to professional producers and paying them almost in spite at this point. I have multiple clients who've been like, I'm hiring you to support the arts so that we don't use AI. I've heard that line more than once. So yeah, sorry. I feel like that maybe got a little bit off topic from your original question, which is just the moral boundaries of it. But I think that fundamentally where I know I'm at is that the moral boundaries are around the financial end of it. And, the second it starts replacing things that should be real, that then becomes, and money is changing hands over it. That's more than, $1 or something. That's where it becomes really a big problem to me. Anyway, great question though. Somebody said, Explorer said, somebody did a request on a stream yesterday and didn't realize they were requesting an AI song. Oh, woof. Ouch. Yeah. I mean, it's, if you don't know what to listen for, it's gotten quite good. It's hard to hear the difference, I think it was Deezer did a survey recently and it was 95% of people in passing, over just listening to a song real quick, had a hard time telling. I can tell instantly, and have been able to from the beginning. And I don't think it will ever get good enough to not be able to tell pretty much instantly. But anyway, all good topics, all good food for thought. Okay, guys. Well, that is everyone that was in queue for feedback. Let's see here. Let me look at a couple of things. Sorry, I'm checking to make sure that we don't have anybody else in queue. We do not. If anybody got skipped somehow, please let me know, but I think we're good on that front.
Flovin wants feedback on their song.
Flovin. What's up, Flovin? Good to see you, man. Thanks for hanging out. 100%. A big boundary of mine is also when AI is used in a way that neglects to take reflection of the human condition or some sort of introspection of metrics to share into account. Yeah, sure. Absolutely. I agree with that. Let's play with Cubase, shall we? Well, we're going to do feedback for Flovin, but then we're going to play with Cubase. So I'm going to open Cubase for the very first time in the background. Yay, Cubase time. Yeah, Flovin, we're ditching Studio One potentially. I genuinely have no idea how some people can comfortably listen to AI music knowing full well it's AI. That's the thing. I don't think anyone does. I still have never interacted with a person anywhere who outside of, I guess, Steinberg Activation Manager or Party Fact. Okay, it's just thinking. Okay, cool. Cubase is booting in the background. Outside of spaces on Reddit where you go to r/acceleration or these total simp subreddits where they're oh, AI is so based and we're going to use it for everything, and it's these guys who've very tiny fraction of people who have built their whole personality over having an AI girlfriend and having using AI to write every text and email that they send and summarize everything they've ever done. Schweems, what's up, Schweems? Thanks for the follow, man. I appreciate it. those guys, yeah, sure, will listen to it basically just to be contrarian, I think. You know, they'll go pull up AI generated shit and go, yeah, this is awesome because it's AI generated. I don't really care what the music is. But I'm just listening to it to be contrarian, to play into this like personality that I've built for myself where my entire life revolves around me being completely dependent on algorithms to do everything. But other than that, I have never met a single person who's like, oh yeah, this is great. I want to listen to this all day. Well, but the other part of that is like, that's also not new. We've had guys like that forever. Or people, I should say people like that forever and ever and ever and ever. People have always been culty about whatever the latest and greatest thing was. You had it with VR, you had it with like all the Neuralink shit with Tesla, and those guys are still, I mean, there's a whole bunch of people who are like, oh, we're going to hit the singularity and we're all going to be uploaded into a digital utopia. And, you know, it's like, sure, man, like totally. That's a great science fiction novel. I'll believe it when I see it. Anyways, Floven, I believe you have a track that is incoming. I'm keeping my eye on it because I'm excited to check it out. And then in a second here, we will there's Cubase. Cubase is launching in the background. It's thinking real hard. Oh yeah, no worries, dude. Take your time. You're all good. Oh, it's scanning my plugins. Good. That's going to take hours. I only have 1,000 of them, and no, I'm not kidding. I have way too many fucking plugins, guys. Way too many. Yeah, last count, I think it was 1,105 or something like that when I opened Fender Studio Pro yesterday, and it had to do all of its stuff. I love VR, but I would never engage in the metaverse unless it was totally. No, I literally have a VR treadmill right there. I love VR. I think VR is fucking awesome. My Quest is broken right now, and I need to fix it. But I love VR. But no, just like these, you know, the idea that we're going to get full dive, and the idea that the metaverse shit. You know, we're all going to live our lives in some utopia, you know, VR utopia. Does Cubase support multiple paths for plugin filters? It should. I'd be very surprised if it didn't. It's going to be a problem if it doesn't. I'll tell you that. Okay, we are in ad mode, I suppose. I don't know. I know Super said green means that ads are running. The lights are awesome, by the way, Super. I'm loving everything that's going on, and I'm loving how much it seems like we can do with them. I think anybody can post the syntax in chat, Super. Can anybody just pick a color? I think it would be hilarious to have chat fighting over the colors. Who needs like an RGB color cycle when anybody can just demand a color? Okay, we are rocking with Cubase here. Set up your audio device. There are no permission checks. Oh goodness. Okay, now we're in ads. That's fine. This is boring, anyways. 1,000 people. All. I mean, you know. Before you start, make sure your audio device is configured to select your audio device. Okay. SSL ASIO 1, monitor left, right. Very good. Stereo output, just did that. Learn Cubase Pro fast. I don't need to do that. Create an empty project. Great. Use a template. Finish. Great. Okay. Here's Cubase. Looks a little... Oops, I fucked something. I'm sorry. Oh, no. Floven, don't do that. Let's just create empty. Let's see what this is all about. Okay. We'll go over here and we'll go into our miscellaneous folder and call this Cubase. Why not? Yeah, if it's something with the form, that's fine. But if it's something with your render, obviously that's a... Okay. Here is Cubase. Looks like we've got... Oh, wow. Uh-oh. I have way more MIDI devices than that in Cubase. I don't entirely know what you're on about here. But it's good that we have... That looks very easy to map. I like that. Okay. First of all, first thing that we need to do is we need to get all of my control surfaces talking to Cubase. Because Lord knows I have a few of them. So let's jump over here to where I'm pretty sure this is going to be. And see... No, not user interface. No, not very audio, whatever that is. Editing. No. MIDI. Or MIDI? No. No. None of that. Quick. Somebody who knows how to use Cubase. How do I set up control surfaces? Because I don't want to go Googling around while we're streaming. No workspaces. That's fine. MIDI remote manager. MIDI controllers. Here we go. Add a surface. Do you have... No, this is probably just going to be Mackie script creator. Oh, Lord. Mackie control universal? Is that what you want? Input port is going to be... God, look at all of my MIDI devices. Input's going to be that, and then output's going to be that. Go. Oh, boy. No, that's not what we want at all. Is this done through scripts, then? This is not great. Guys, it's not great. This is so far not looking great at all. I'm scared. I'm scared and frightened and alone. I just need a general Mackie control universal. I don't want what I'm so I'm so confused. I've never used a DAW where this didn't work. I can't custom map these controllers. That's insane. That's absolutely wild. I apparently, do you download scripts, I guess? Yeah, you probably downloaded import scripts. Let's Google that real quick. Because thus far, let's see, script Cubase. Cubase MIDI remote scripts. Oh, they're on GitHub. GW's it's okay. Icon. Yep. Okay. There we go. That's what we've got. OBS Studio did do a good job. How so? They can be set up as single standalone controllers. Okay. Great. Make sure the scribble. Ooh, it's got scribble script colors. Oh, that's very exciting. Oh, guys, that's so exciting. That means the colors on my scribble strips will work, which never worked in Studio One, which drove me absolutely bananas. That's very exciting. So wait, are there just scripts for everything here? Okay, APC 40 Mark II Cubase script. Oh, this is very exciting. Including clip launching. Does Cubase have a clip launcher? What? I'm so confused. I don't know. Let's just start. Let's just play with some instruments and see how that sounds. Mix controls. Okay, there's a mixer. Good. I haven't watched this video, but will it help at all? Quite possibly. Let's find out.
MIDI Remote in Cubase lets you map all kinds of functions to your MIDI controller. and I'm going to show you how to do it.
Sure. That will help at some point. That's probably about manually mapping things, which is like selecting control and then telling it what to do. My number one concern with any DAW that I ever touch is, you guys know me, I am all about hands-on control. So I have this, which is from Icon Pro Audio, Icon P1M and P1X extender. And it's got scribble strips for track names and all this stuff. I cannot map all of these buttons myself. It's all very dynamic, and you can bank around to different, parts of the session and all this stuff. I then also have the launch pad here and the APC 40 here that I need to do things if possible. But the main thing is my Icon control surface has to be set up with the mixer correctly. So I might have to do that a little bit later. Okay, Floven. Oh yes, your stuff's always on Newgrounds, and it always makes me smile. Let's check out Floven's track, shall we? And then we'll get back to playing with Cubase. It's on, I just found it, Ochpik. It's on GitHub. It's right here. Very interesting. Okay. Very, very interesting. Definitely a mood, definitely a vibe. Dark, stormy, a little off-putting. I mean, not in a bad, I don't mean that in a bad way. I mean, it's just like the vibe that the piece gives, which is very cool. The question, Flovin, do you listen to Brad Mehldau? There's something in this that reminds me of, like, Brad Mehldau does really weird chromatic clustery stuff, and this is like reminding me of that. Just of like how he does harmony. It's really, really nice. I like it a lot. It captures a vibe really, really well. So strong work there. I think the things that stuck out to me in the back half. Oh, man. Okay, hang on. Very quick detour. Mehldau is one of the greatest jazz pianists to ever live. Probably this will be pretty good. That's a little quiet. Check out Brad Mehldau. Absolute masterclass in modern piano. He's incredible. Does a lot of jazz stuff, but he also does a lot of like modern classical stuff. He did a whole record with Chris Deeley a couple of years ago that was amazing. Brad Mehldau, you will love just his style of writing and composing. Brad Mehldau's ridiculous, and just like as a technician on the on the piano. Oh, hey, Mom. What's up? So the things that stuck out to me, I think harmony-wise, it's really dense. I don't have my keyboard pulled up, or I'd kind of figure out what you're doing. It feels very harmonic minor, melodic minor, and then just like chromatically moving back and forth between two kind of tonal centers that are a half step apart, but it kind of just stays in that the whole time. Which starts to feel, it's a cool sound, but it definitely gives this vibe. I realize I said off-putting. I don't mean that in a bad way. I don't like, it makes me not want to listen to it. I just mean it's a very dark and dissonant feeling piece in a very cool way. So that's probably not the best word to use, because I don't mean it like off-putting, like I don't want to listen to it. I think it's really, really nice, but it has a very dissonant, dark and moody vibe to it. But I think that those two tonal centers just right next to each other might get a little samey after a while. And like jumping from there to back here, the only thing that feels substantially different to me about these two sections is that you've added the super high up stuff. And that was going to be my second comment, is I think that's cool. What I think when I hear it, and this is because I'm a musician and I play keys and I know, listening to this isn't physically possible for someone to play. You would need three hands to play this the way that you've written it. If you don't really care about that, then it totally works. It's a nice layer to add in there sonically. But sometimes that's kind of a question I always ask myself, is like sometimes if I'm doing string scoring or something and I want to do a run, I'm like, I can technically execute this because I'm using a sample library. No violinist alive could play what I just wrote. You know what I mean? And that it's a choice, and you can do it and make it obvious that it is programmed or a library, but it still sounds cool, which is, I think, the case here. Or if you want it to feel a little more authentic or kind of realistic, then you might change how you've structured it to be something that at least maybe somebody theoretically could learn to play. But even with that layer in there, like this section, and then it breaks down for a little bit, and then this section all fundamentally kind of feel more or less the same to me. So I think that if you're looking to develop this further, maybe moving these spaces into like just fully into a different key. I know you're kind of working between several keys and you're not even really in a specific key. Super. I wish I had my keyboard pulled up because I could get a little bit more precise with it. Maybe the piece was written to be played with a friend. I mean, sure, totally. Yeah, you would just need somebody with an extra hand up on top, doubling the melody. But yeah, like modulating essentially all of these shapes into a different tonal space, lower or maybe a little higher or something like that. Or, going chromatically in a different, going down chromatically as opposed to, or going up chromatically as opposed to down in the change or something like that. Cause it strikes me as, a very cool idea that then gets explored, and then it just kind of lives in this one space the whole time. And I kind of want to hear it go, dynamically. It goes down and up nicely, and then you add that top stuff in there. But yeah, pushing it into a slightly different, you could have a section that gets more diatonic to provide contrast to the dissonance. Of all the chromatic movement and all the kind of melodic minor stuff that you've got going on. Pulling it into a major space suddenly could be kind of interesting. But overall, what I like about it, and what I like about everything you've ever submitted for feedback, is you're really good at capturing strong emotional vibes, which is why it's dark, it's dissonant, it's moody. This could work so well as underscore for a lot of different, I sort of get a detective up late investigating a murder and finding out that it's his own twin brother that's committed the murder, or so, like that kind of, and there's lightning outside and there's shadows in the corners and all, like it's got all of those kinds of feelings to it, and capturing imagery like that is tricky to do. So I commend you very much on that, and everything you've ever sent in kind of gives these very concrete vibes and ideas, and kind of has imagery imagery to it. You didn't use MIDI. Wait, so is this just like a recording of you playing? Like off of a keyboard or something? Is it not MIDI at all? Is this just like just a raw audio of a performance? Clicked the notes in. Wow, I would imagine that took quite a while. Okay, so you put MIDI in by hand. I think you didn't use a controller is what you're saying. Okay, interesting. Yeah, okay. I understand. But yeah, it's a vibe. It is a vibe for sure. And I am in favor and in support of the vibe. I dig it, man. I super dig it. Yeah, just with some more direction. Go somewhere to give it, I like the idea of giving it contrast, of it going, a little brighter or a little, just to a different like tonal feeling at some point in there. I think we'll break it up nicely. No, thank you for sharing, man. I appreciate it. It's extremely cool. And please do Meldau. Yeah, absolutely Infested. And it gives it more nuance, right? And more like depth. God, I could just sit here listening to Meldau all day. He's so good. Oh my God, he's so good. Brad Meldau, if you like, and he's not always solo. He does like trio stuff and plays with larger groups as well. He also did this insanely cool project called Meliana with Mark Juliana, who's like one of the best drummers in the galaxy right now. The Moog bass is very nice. But if you guys ever want to know who I am pretending to be when I play drums, Juliana is very high on that list. Happily. Yeah, they're insane. They're absolutely fantastic. Very, very neat. Anyway, okay. Back over to no, not that. This. What I was going to say is let's just I want to play with, I have no idea all of the hotkeys here. This is only mildly terrifying. I want to just play with some of the built-in sounds. So it's already got all of my sounds loaded up. That's good. But where are the built-in instruments that you come with? Do I just have to look for them? Is that how this works? Excuse me. Do you not just have a category that's a Halion Sonic? We're just going to start pulling stuff up and just kind of get the vibe of what Cubase has going on. Drop in a program or layer. Okay. Active Jiggler. Chat's going to love this. Very Formant-y. Okay. Whenever I am playing with a new DAW, the first thing I always like to do is to just pull up what they think should come with their DAW. Because that usually tells you exactly what they think their DAW should be used for. Jesus. Unfortunately, not at the moment, Infested, because I have to set that up in the MIDI, and it's actually kind of complicated. This is like a lot of sequenced stuff. I like it. It's all very FM-y. Which makes sense. It's an FM synth, but... kind of giving me modern DX70 vibes. Interesting. Yeah, there's good textures. Ooh. Let me turn on fixed velocity here. Okay, good arpeggiator. Let's jump around here. Emulsion. One key wonder. Patches like that crack me up. And honestly, just to cycle back to the AI stuff for a minute, people act like we've never had tools that just make music with zero effort. We have had synth patches like this. So it's like obviously typing a prompt is easier, but if you could figure out how to load this, push one key and record it, and then drag in a drum loop, you've got a track. I mean, or at least a decent chunk of a track. Ooh. That's cool. I like that. That's great. That's a great sound, actually. Ooh. That's nice. No, that was a progression I've been trying to figure out what to do with for a while. God, this is so much more aggressive than I thought it would be. Okay, let's say I'm done. Let's say I'm done with Flux here. Oh, no, not what I wanted to do. Come back. How do I go back to... Here we go. Iconia Sketch. Oh, yeah. I see what you're saying. Oh, wow. This is a whole scoring thing. It's synthesized. It's not sampled. At least I'd be shocked if this is sampled. Oh, wow, that's nice. It's not a bad cello sound. It's okay. Yeah, they're pretty mid. Okay, how did I get back to there? Trip. Woo! Ad warning. Yay. Okay. That's pretty sick. Sure. This is all making me look much better than I actually am. What is with the focus on sequences here? Writing room synths. Ooh, now we're talking. Okay. Very. Yeah, this is just a bunch of libraries that come with it. That's not bad. Interesting. Bright E piano. Very Casio. Very Casio. Brilliant shine. Yep, come here. That's pretty bad. Who else looks fun? Who else looks fun? Anything dark? Dread Pulse? That's cool. Yeah, I like a lot of this, actually. Holy shit. Some like Ryuichi Sakamoto shit. That's very cool. Soft synth piano. Now there's a sound I can get behind. That's very nice. Emerson, Lake and Palmer shit. String machine. It does sound vaguely like a Selena. Okay. Okay. That's fun. Verve. What's Verve all about? That's the same thing. Oh, this is probably like Augmented Grand from Arturia, isn't it? Oh, yeah, it's got like a mallet sample in there. That's kind of cool. Has like some what? Akira Yamaoka, like Silent Hill vibes to it. Okay. Well, that's all lovely. I'm there's nothing that I don't like here. That's pretty much all of those. I don't know if there's more of these that I can download, but that is called a Halion Sonic. What else? There's a Pad Shop. Ooh. Okay, that's kind of cool. Pad Shop. What's going on, Pad Shop? This window has opened. Load pre... Okay. All. Please don't display this warning again. I don't know why you would display it. Oh, this seems very granular. Very cool textures. Ooh. Very sound designy. Where's Hatecore when you need him? I will say I'm not as impressed as I was with Bitwig. Bitwig's built-in sounds, I like immediately started working on 3 different tracks. I mean, there's a lot of good pads in here. Ooh. Very textural. Very, very textural. But yeah, Bitwig, just the synth sound, it didn't come with much. Yeah, many of these are basic but well programmed. I agree. Bitwig didn't come with a ton of stuff, but what it did come with was really interesting and just quirky as hell. And really inspiring because they were not like super super versatile, but they were definitely really like it was just all really interesting. Like, oh, somebody really sat down and tried to do something weird and fun and different here. Let's listen to some kits. And no worries, Super. I'm probably gonna wrap up in a minute as well, just because. Wait, what? What happened? I want Groove Agent to go here. Okay, maybe get rid of this track then. Delete track? Go away, track. I want a different track. Oh, wait, I probably don't have... Anybody? Hello? Paging? Oh, I probably should open a kit first. Okay. Very aggressive. Oh, these are patterns. Why is there so much reverb on everything? And why is it so quiet? That's cool. That's a terrible groove. They like very bright sounds at Cubase, apparently. Jesus. These kits are all really wonky. They're cool. How is that a progressive house kit? What? That's the least housey kit I've ever heard. Jesus, the sub. You guys probably, it's not probably coming across on stream, but the subs are crazy. That sounds terrible. Okay. I'm also spoiled because of Superior Drummer. Okay. Ooh. See, that's cool. Jesus. Very modular sounding. Good gravy. Yeah, drum and bass. Okay. Ooh, I like that a lot. That's pretty dubsteppy. Why is there so much reverb on everything? This is crazy. How much reverb there is. I think it's because it's whichever one I have selected, whether or not it's playing. I will say I like these kits way more than the Studio One kits, that's for sure. Jesus. Ooh, that's a good snare. Interesting. Okay. Well, there's a ton of kits. I like that very much. Do they have like a vintage production grooves? Tried what you told me. It sounds 10 times better. Oh, neato. Oh, thanks. I'm so glad it was helpful. Excellent. I love to hear it. Got into the DAW. Yes, we're just I'm sort of futzing through all of the included sounds in Cubase and just seeing what I think of them. So far, they're cool. It's nothing that's like blowing my mind, but they're pretty good. Because I was saying earlier, whenever I pull up a new DAW, the first thing I like to do is just go through what they include in it. So all the kits and the synth presets and loops and like all that stuff. I always kind of want to check out because it says a lot to me about how they think about their own software and like the kinds of people and the kinds of producers that they think are going to be using it. And I see why scoring guys use Cubase. A lot of the included sounds are either like really good, well-made basic starting points, or they're just very like bright and very in your face. And like a lot of the drum kits would work really well in hybrid settings, which I do a lot of hybrid work. So, ooh, Retrolog. Wait, what are you? No, back. Calm down. Calm down, Cubase. I didn't want to do whatever that was. Give me retro. What is Retrolog? So that's an initialized patch for this. Is pretty basic subtractive synth. It's Cubase FL, but more complicated. It is very, very, very different than Fruity Loops. I mean, it's a DAW, so it makes, you make music with it, obviously, but in case you can't tell. But no, it's just geared more towards, FL is very much geared towards electronic music production. And, and it's got all the like pattern sequencing and all different kinds of things. Cubase has some of that, but Cubase is more meant for scoring and I call it Fruity Loops because I started using it when it was Fruity Loops 7, I think. How's it going, Zentrix? Thanks for tuning in. Yeah, it was still called Fruity Loops when I was a kid. Over on the YouTube side, Lil Bobber, why not Reaper? Reaper is cool. You're catching me on a very funny day because I have been working in Studio One, PreSonus Studio One, for many, many, many years. And I love PreSonus Studio One. Unfortunately, they just rebranded it to be called Fender Studio, and they shipped a build of it that doesn't work correctly. And so I'm very angry at them. And so we're playing in Cubase to see if I could maybe want to switch and leave Studio One. Reaper is very cool. I have certainly played around with Reaper before. Reaper is a little more tweaky than I want it to be. I'm a professional composer, producer, mix, master engineer, as my full-time job. And Reaper is very like, go in and tweak the interface and get it set up exactly how you want. I like stuff like that, but I honestly don't. I have like clients that need work done like tomorrow. So I don't really have time to like go into Reaper and figure out how to set everything up and, customize the interface and all the buttons and figure out exactly what I want my workflow to be. Like, that shit takes so long, and I need something that works now and gets me the ability to produce what I need to produce for the people who hire me. So Reaper's good, but too hard for corporate beginners. Yeah, I think that's accurate. Especially like, even though I make different genres, I make most music with MIDI and piano roll. So yeah. And that's if you're doing stuff that is mostly synths, mostly and then like mostly electronic stuff. FL is great. I do a lot of that. I also do a lot of scoring. So like I'm using orchestral sample libraries to put pieces together, and FL does not do that very well. Like there's a lot of very specific MIDI production tools that you need to work with orchestral and scoring libraries that FL does not have. Particularly all of the like expression and modulation and dynamics control, as well as key switching and articulation tools, which Cubase has in spades, as does Studio One. Do you work as front of house? I do not. I have worked as front of house sound before. I do not like it. I mean, I toured as a musician for many, many years. That was how I started my career, was as a touring bass player. And I have worked with more front of house engineers and monitor engineers than I could possibly count, and I have done live sound before. I absolutely hate it. Absolutely hate it. Oh, interesting. I didn't know that, Ochpick. The other issue with FL for me is that, at least last time I looked into it, recording and mixing and working with just audio is also not super refined in FL, at least in the way that I'm used to. And again, like, you guys have to remember, I grew up in a tape-based studio. So I think very much in, like, I think I want my transport to work like a tape transport, which just right off the bat, let's see if Cubase does or not. Yep, it does. Absolutely. Great. Lil Bobber over on, or Lee Bobber over on YouTube. ML5000 or Venice? I have no idea. I know those are live consoles, but I have no idea. It is super not my wheelhouse. Most of my music is recorded in FL, makes that process very annoying. Yeah, so that's because I'm constantly playing live guitars, live bass, and like even when I do my drums, which start as MIDI, obviously, I then track them out to work with them as audio, just like you would with a real drum kit. So that also is important. Ableton, some version of Studio One. I love this new with the piano. Yeah, no, and that's, they all have their strengths, and they all have tools that are going to be like their thing. And any of these programs can do anything. You can, score classical music in FL. You can record a rock band in Ableton. Like, it's, all of these things are really versatile, powerful tools. It's just how they are put together and what the tool sets focus on. That really is where the rubber meets the road, so to speak. Okay, these are not great sounds. Yeah, absolutely, Archbig, and that's what you do, you know. Yeah, I don't like any of these sounds. I don't like any of those sounds at all. This is Retrolog, which I'm assuming is their kind of, yeah, this looks vaguely Oberheim Roland-ish. Yeah, it's got an mod matrix, and yeah, okay. You could do a lot with this synth, but this is just like, I kind of like, even when I see a synth like this included in a DAW, I'm like, why did you even make this? Like, there's so many free options of just like a basic, you know, oh yeah, it's got 2 ADSR envelopes and a mod matrix and, you know, 5 waveforms and 3 oscillators. And it's like, cool. Okay. This is every other basic synth plugin I've ever used. And unless you're going to put the time into making a bunch of presets that are really unique and sound super cool, I don't honestly really care. That's kind of cool. But that. The hell am I going to use that for? Yeah, presets much off or something. Yep, 100%. God. Now we're making a Phil Collins record. Okay, so yeah, I like the sounds. There's not a ton that I'm seeing to sink your teeth into. I know it said it downloaded a bunch of loops and samples. What's the deal with loops and samples? Analog techno. Oh, that's sick. That's a great song. Okay. Bunch of decent techno loops. Where's something interesting? Analog Wonder Blockbuster. What's going on in Blockbuster? These are all very interesting. I struggle with stuff like this, though, because it's like, I might listen to it for inspiration, but I'm always going to want to make it myself. Okay, interesting. There's some interesting stuff in there. Who else we got? Grit and Grime. Not at all what I was expecting. Ooh, honestly, this is the shit that is really useful to me. Is just really basic, like belt, like wind chimes, or you know, a good vibra slap, or you know, stuff like that, where it's like it's a common sound that you need sometimes, but I don't own one. Oh, interesting. Okay. Sorry, just got an email about a thing. That's kind of cool. Yeah, so it looks like it has a pretty good selection of stuff on that end of things. Okay. This is just old film beat. Right. Okay, well, the next step, this is all fine and well and good. I don't dislike the interface. It's pretty straightforward. I don't really know why I would want this over here, but I'm sure you can get rid of that. This like channel thing. What is automatic record? Okay, mini quantize audio record modes. Oh, okay. Yep, that's easy. That's cool. Sorry, I'm just looking at like all of the other transporty stuff. Click. Or no, that's time code. All right, time display. Where's our metronome? Tap tempo. Don't need. Punch in and out. Okay. I got it. We're in an ad. Oh, no. Ooh, honestly, that's really handy. These automation mode toggles, that's very cool. Ooh, automation follows events. I got it. That's nice. Okay, split is 3. Ooh, so it works exactly the same. Oh, that's great. And then is that my... Yep, okay. Oh, that's easy. Okay, that works how I expect it to. Welcome to Roosted. What? Oh, okay, cool. Interesting. All right, very cool. I have been added to the call list for a new wedding band. That's very, very exciting. Anyways, okay, I'm gonna, the next thing that I need to look at and think about, I'm assuming we're out of ads. The next thing I need to look at and think about is, oh wait, no, now we're in ads. I don't know. Are we in ads now? I don't know. Anyways, it doesn't really matter. You don't have ads? Okay, good. Well, the next thing that I need to do is get all my controllers working. And that is going to take some time to figure out. And I'm not going to make you guys sit there while I download scripts off of GitHub. So we've had a very, very good and fun stream today. So I'm going to go ahead and wind down and get out of here. But we will be back tomorrow for sure. As you guys know, every Monday through Friday, every day, 2 p.m. Eastern. We are live doing all of our stuff. We have a bunch of projects in right now that I want to get to. Because, I'm sorry, Iconic. No, we'll just come back tomorrow, man. We'll be around. Don't you worry. If you're available, of course. Yeah. Oh, thank you, Otripic. I appreciate it. No, it was a good time. A lot of cool tracks from people. Shout out to new followers. Schweems, Shibuya, Tenlander. Also on the YouTube side, new subscribers, Puddlegum and Kusai. So thank you guys very much for all of that. We'll be back tomorrow. We'll do some feedback. We're going to keep working on this record with this pop artist from LA. That's going to be very fun. Excited to see you learn more about Keybase in the future. I mean, we'll see. You know, I'm going to spend some time getting my surfaces set up, and then I'll actually be able to kind of, work and move and do my thing. So depending on how all of that goes, we'll see if we actually stick with it. I keep trying to pivot DAWs because, I just keep trying. And I keep ending up back with Studio One, but like with where it's at right now, I don't know if we can stick with it anymore. We'll have to see. But anyways, ! Discord gets you into the Discord. If you are interested in that, you'll get pinged whenever we go live. We will just see you guys tomorrow, same time, same place. So thank you very much. I appreciate each and every one of you. And I hope you guys have a great evening, night, morning, afternoon, whatever it is, wherever you're at. And we will see you guys tomorrow. Thanks very much. Bye. Where are we? Here we go. Bye.